All right, first video is going to be longest video. Um, I I've got all the grades in front of me, and it's pretty balanced. I'd say there's a lot of solid teams, and there's a lot of trash. I don't think I identified a super team, but there are many teams at the top who I am very confident will make the playoffs and have a chance at the championship. We have some with some outside chances if everything goes well, and then we got some teams who will not be making the playoffs unless they do some crazy drastic things. So overall, the league's getting sharper. I think people are getting better at drafting, and some people started really strong and then it fell off and they didn't complete their team. Some people started shaky and then figured it out with some later round picks. So the grades were tough. I tried to vary it up as much as I could. I'm gonna give a number out of 10 in addition to the letter because I didn't want the letters to be too similar. But yeah, as we saw yesterday, I reviewed it. Bonzo Ball, he's got a pretty impeccable record on if you get a good grade, you need a good grade essentially to win the championship. Past teams who have won have all had really good grades. So let's hop right in here. This is Shelvin. Shelvin was on the clock with the 101 for a while. He did not mess it up. He went Justin Jefferson, even though he was driving. He had a little trouble getting there. He was driving and had to make some of these picks in the car. I think that's what led to the Brees pick at 212 and Chris Olave at the turn. And then he came back, got his quarterback tight end, Burrow, Evan Ingram, Ayuk and James Conner, Quentin Johnston, Jamal Williams, and then in the double digits, Komet, Mooney, Geno, Mechie, and Deion Jackson. I'll start with best picks and worst picks. Best picks, I like Olave at 3-1. And then I like Ayuk at the 612. I think he's got a good receiving core. Younger guys with upside. Definitely, I think good values for both of them. I think his worst picks are by far Brees Hall and Evan Ingram. Brees, I mean, before they got Dalvin Cook, Brees wasn't even going at the end of the second round. So now that Dalvin's there, I mean, I would have understand it, but now that Dalvin's there, I mean, they're probably going to ease him into it. You might not get good production out of Brees at the start of the year. Evan Ingram, I'm extremely confident. I mean, this league kind of waited on tight ends. I know Darren Waller went about a full 12 picks after this, and so did Dallas Goedert, and some of the other guys who were ranked higher. Pitts went a full round and a half, 2 rounds. Full round and a half later. Goddard went a full almost 2 rounds later. So I'm very confident Ingram would have been there at where he took James Conner. So I think, that's where he's going to get a bad grade is the Breeze pick. And this team looks a lot different if he passes on Evan Ingram, waits on him, and he could have got a way, way better RB2 than James Conner if he just took an RB where Ingram is. So, and then I don't know that I like the depth either, but those are the best and worst picks. The overall grade, I'm giving it a 6.7 out of 10, a D plus. Remember, the grade is not necessarily where I think your team is going to finish. The grade is just with what was presented to you and how did you conduct your draft strategy? How many errors did you make? And do I like how you constructed your team? So I'm giving it a D plus just because I think that, you start with Jefferson and that's obvious. What do you do after that? Not much. Not much special. I'm down on Burrow this year. I mean, this team might have a tough start to the year. If Burrow starts slow, if Brees starts slow, who's filling in? You could easily be starting 1-3, 1-4, and by the time Brees comes back and starts getting carries, it's like you're already out of the playoff picture. So, 6.7 out of 10, it's a D plus, and this team will not be in the playoffs. Not a playoff team, not a chance to win it all. The one liner I've got to close it out here, this is wasted potential. You're wasting the 101. They always say you can't win your draft in the first few rounds, but you can lose your draft in the first few rounds. And, I just think the fact that this team is anchored by Brees Hall and James Conner at the RB position, you are really betting on a lot going well there. Good wide receivers, decent QB tight end, but even though he took QB tight end early, he's still going to be outmatched in half of his games. Half people are going to have a better quarterback than Burrow, and over half the people are going to have a better quarterback than Ingram. So I don't even think peaking them early worked out in his favor. This is one of the worst grades. I just don't like what Shelvin did from the one spot here. And if league history says anything, he has only made the playoffs once in 3 years. So, I don't know what we were expecting. I wasn't expecting him to kill his draft. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do anything with the 1-1. Maybe if he keeps Jefferson towards the end of the first round next year, it'll set him up for better success.